right now, Trump is winning big time. He's winning big time. Um, and what I will say is make sure that we all go to the polls and vote for Trump. Uh, I can see something like making people think that, oh, the mail in ballots got him the victory, and then like we don't go and vote personally on the actual day. People just say, we got it in the bag. And then turns out that was a lie. No, we all need to go vote. We all, like, this needs to be too big to rig. It needs to be a complete landslide at this point. So there's no shenanigans. And if they try to do shenanigans, it'll be blatant cheating that it'll be people will be going to prison for. That there's going to be proof like this person's cheating. It always seems like it's cheating for the left too. That's why I don't. And they wonder why we question. Oh, I don't know. You know who it really is for? It's whoever the elites want in charge for the machine. That's what it's for. Because you see some of the same kind of stuff with Bush. I would pick Bill Clinton over Bush. Probably either one of them. So like that says a lot right there, doesn't it? When it comes to political parties. I'm talking about back then. I'm not talking about who Clinton is now. Bill Clinton right now is a shell of who he was. He looks beaten down. He looks old, decrepit. But back then, like, I really didn't have a problem with him. I liked him. Obviously, I was a Democrat back then, and I honestly just Trump rhymes with Bill Clinton. I wasn't really huge into politics, following that much like I am now, but from what I remember, I think that Trump probably, I don't know if he said he's been a Republican since '92, but I don't think that he would have had a problem with them back then. Especially looking back and then seeing like, yeah, how far the left has gone. Like the left, like you people are crazy, man. I just seen a video of unhinged white lady, young white lady, probably Gen Z, and she was yelling in the face of a 3-year-old, like cussing it, like about the dad. I don't know. I think they were at a Harris rally or something. And the only reason why I bring up race, I don't ever bring up race, but it was cool. It was a black lady that like stopped her and like, what's wrong with you? I bring up race because I'm so tired of seeing like this narrative online about all this hate towards one race. I'm not a racist person. I think that there's dumb people in every single race. So it's just like all of our races are beautiful, man. And just to paint a whole thing with like one race, like it's a horrible thing what's happening on all levels. Even white people too. Just like the hate on it. It's like it's stupid. We should be loving each other's differences. We should accept each other's differences as long as it's not hurting other people. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But yeah, these people are. If you're voting for Kamala at this point, you should really definitely look in the mirror and like question like why. Like, dude, Trump was just on Joe Rogan. That's huge. Like Trump basically threw a jab at Joe Rogan during the summertime when it sounded like he said he was endorsing RFK. And then he definitely said something about, I don't know, like kind of wrote him off. But like I thought it was pretty good. I thought the interview was pretty good. I mean, Joe's a professional, you know what I mean? So he's not going to be in his emotion. I think he conducted himself pretty well. Probably a little bit of animosity there, a little bit. But I think that, like, you got to look past that and just look at, like, what is better? Like, staying the path of what we have right now or reforming the system in a peaceful manner that can, like, benefit humanity, like, moving forward? Because, like, what is the alternative? That's just like keep printing money and then, like, relying on these countries that buy our bonds and take on our debt that just, like, make make those bonds more worthless because we just print out more money. Like, how long do you think that countries are going to keep putting up with that? That whole system, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the path that we're going, uh, how the federal government completely abandons Americans, and, like, we're, like, so worried about the rest of the world. Like, why do we have all these military bases in different countries? That doesn't make any sense to me. Uh, Time to tear them down. Time to tear, like, hey, we got a military base, like, you're gonna have to pay for it. Like, you can have it, wherever the hell we're at. Like, it's their military base now. But, like, we don't want, like, a Joe Biden type of thing where you don't just, like, start cutting major things off. You don't just say, okay, today we have welfare, then tomorrow we don't. You can't just, like, cut 90% of the government overnight. Of course, you gotta, like, sit here and, like, some of it you can kind of, like, say, okay, that's done. We don't need that. Department of Education federally, you're gone. We don't really need you. We can let the states decide how they're gonna educate the kids. The only thing that the federal government should worry about is, like, you just need one standard across the board for every state. Well, you have to be able to do this, read at a certain level, have so many credits to graduate from college, high school, or take a GED test, pass the GED test. And the states can put on whatever other requirements when it comes to, like, community service and different types of tests that they want you to pass. That's on the states. So, like, it pretty much already is that. So I don't understand why we even have a federal education system anyway. Like, education is completely, it's not brick and mortar no more. We don't we can get self-educated. You can homeschool yourself. You can, like, as long as you have access to the internet, you can basically learn yourself, man. And also, like, you just need to know, like, generalities, basically. You don't have to have in-depth knowledge about something. Like algebra. Who uses algebra? I don't think I've used algebra for, like, honestly, I got F's. I didn't really want to learn that. I could have. I just didn't want to. I was rebellious, man. I was kind of mad about my situation, honestly. And I kind of just, like, gave up. I was just going through the motions. Anyway, so, like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, people who are still, like, supporting Harris at this point, like, are you completely blind? Are you just, like, do you not know anything else besides, like, the TV in the background or whatever, like some type of news thing you picked up? No. I think people got to be smarter than that. Like, if you're not paying attention, if you really don't care, then yeah, you shouldn't vote. If you don't want to pay attention, cool, don't pay attention. I get it. It's boring. It's stressful. It pisses you off. I think it takes away people's lie. Like, if you look at Alex Jones, man, he's been fighting this fight for, like, 30 years, he says, and look how old and decrepit he looks, man. He looks terrible. And that's why I think he needs to retire after this. He needs to retire and then, like, let other people. I think we're going to see more of these big people going away, really. Like, Lauren Chen's gone. I think there's going to be opportunities for bigger people to step up. Even like Tim Pool, I bet you he takes. Dude, if he put me on, if I ever talked to Tim Pool, like I would be like, it would be pretty cool, man. I maybe not. I don't know. We might be combative against each other. Who knows? Um, but uh, I think that he's probably gonna want to spend time with his family and not spend 16 hours a day working. Like that's why they're doing cutbacks over there. That's another big figure. I mean, like I said, Lauren Chen's gone, and then it's like Alex Jones. Like some, just go ahead and retire, man. Like just come back here and there. It's kind of like Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? Like to be in the daily grind. Hulk Hogan will come out. I don't know, like for a championship pay per view event or something like that. He wasn't out touring like I don't know 3/4 of the year out touring and wrestling basically every single day. He doesn't. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Alex. Just you need to go like spend time with your family. Like you even said that you like washing dishes. Like, dude, if you like to wash dishes and some of that stuff you like to do because you are so pampered that you don't have to do any of that stuff, um, and then like out of the blue moon, like you decide to help out your wife or whoever it was, your mom, I don't know, pretty much I would say your wife. You decide to help your wife, and which is cool. Like seriously, like if you bring in all the bread and like she doesn't bring anything in, then yeah, you shouldn't have to lift a finger around the house. But most situations aren't like that, and that's why it's like, dude, it's kind of why have kids like if you're both gonna have to work, man? It's just so stupid to me. You know what I mean? Um, you need somebody there to like raise the kids, like the whole like, oh, I can't wait till they're in school. So like the school's your babysitter basically. It's like, oh, I want to get back to work. Like, then don't have kids, man. Like seriously, like we need to be bringing up kids, and I think people having kids is it's a huge thing in people's lives. Like I can't believe so many people are um, prominent figures don't have kids. It's crazy. Like like I don't really listen to him anymore because he blocked my kid. So I unfollowed him on everything. And I don't listen to him. But he's not gonna have kids, and he's like he has all this, and like there's all these smart people that aren't having kids, and then they want to tell us, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, you have it really really good, and you can bring up a family in that you're in that environment, like a really good environment. So it's that's what kids need to be brought up in a good emotionally healthy environment. And if you don't want to do that, you don't want to, like either one of you're not going to be in it for the long haul through the ups and downs, and like just don't have kids. I mean, look at all the different ways of birth control. There's like so many. It's just like, dude, just have safe. Like I don't understand how people trust other people so much to just not protect themselves. Is like, do you not care about getting STDs? That's like gross, man. Do you not care about getting HIV? Like HIV isn't like people don't care about it anymore. I understand, I get it. People aren't dying no more from it, but like if you don't take your medicine, if you get cut off from your medicine, you do die. It turns into AIDS, and you don't have an immune system, and you'll die from a cold or something stupid. Um, and that's what I think the government wants. They want us dependent on the government, either like health wise, so like diabetes medication. Like we should be like trying to get people to fat. I think fasting is a huge thing, and I think that there's a lot of health benefits that come along with that. I think like the whole 3 meals a day is ridiculous. The way we eat here is pretty crazy, honestly. Most days I pretty much fast 14, 16 hours a day. Sometimes I'll do 24, but like it's really beneficial health wise to fast. You know, I was told I look old, but I don't think I look that old. I think that like I'm not too bad for a mid 40s guy, especially with like the hard life I've had. Man, I've had such a hard life. I should look like I'm like um maybe it hasn't been hard, man, but it's felt like it emotionally anyway. You know, maybe physically it hasn't been horrible, but like when it comes to emotional, man, the emotional pain that I've endured in my life, and it's just kind of like no one cares about that. Obviously, like everyone has emotional pain, um, so, but it shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? We should. It shouldn't have. We shouldn't have such, especially like being kids, having kids and stuff like that. Like that's crazy seeing that grown adult. Obviously, she probably is not mature. Like, and that's the thing is like these red pill guys are like, oh, young women are the best, and I'm thinking to myself, man, these women are not attractive at all, dude. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, she might be legal, but like her maturity is like a 12-year-old. That's disgusting, man. I don't want to like uh mess around with anything like that. That's crazy, man. Like I like me, I'd rather just have a woman around my age, preferably like a year younger or something like that. Uh, like I don't just like I look at young women and I'm like, yeah, they're attractive, they look good and all that, but it's just like I'm old. She probably wants kids. I can't have kids. I don't want kids. So why waste anybody's time? Why? There's no point. Oh, cause I want to be a big alpha guy. Like I'm like I'm out here slaying pussy. Like who cares, man? Nobody cares. Uh, like I bet you like most people, if they was to know how many people I've been with, they'd be like shocked. They probably think I've never been with a single woman the way I act, especially nowadays. Uh, they probably think I'm a huge incel. In some ways I am, honestly. I always have been. It's called masking. It's called putting a mask on, and being somebody of high manipulative caliber as I am, I can mask things pretty well. That's why I made that song Chameleon, because I am a chameleon. I've even, I have to catch myself sometimes because, like, I'll even start talking like people. Like, I'll start taking their sayings. I'll start having their accent. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't mean it. It's just like I'm like impressed with like how I like their vibe. I like their demeanor, and just not being myself. You know what I mean? Just um, I've always. What am I talking about, man? I'm getting into in depth. Like that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't really want to talk about people nowadays because I just don't like. What do you? Oh, health today. Oh, this and that. Oh, this and that. Like whatever, dude. I don't want. um. Now you want to talk to somebody like so, like how was your childhood, man? How are your parents still together? I'm like analyzing them. I want to know like why they are the way they are. Like why, you know what I mean? It's like what, uh, man. If I talk to somebody, I'll get into like personal questions and talk, because I want to be able to like I like to analyze people, man. I like to I read people very well, very quickly. Um, I can see energy ups and downs in people. I can see when people seem like there's something wrong with them. I mean, I think that's you would think that that's like all people, but you know, it's becoming less and less nowadays. In my lifetime, it was more so way more when I was a kid, but like nowadays. It's what it's so crazy. It's so crazy to see like how ahead of the times I am. And I've always felt like I'm behind the times. Like I liked Nirvana when they weren't popular no more. Everyone went on to Marilyn Manson. That's when I got into Kurt Cobain. I got into Kurt Cobain and Nirvana in like '96, man. Like my first favorite rock band was Offspring. It wasn't even Nirvana, so it was like, um, I guess I don't know. I was like, maybe I was like 15 or something like that, but still, Kurt, that was like way after he already died, and like, you know, yeah, you just seen there's a change to more metal, industrial type of music back then, being more popular. Uh, and then, but basically, alternative came from grunge. So like they were kind of like a lot of bands kind of sounded had like kind of like a grunge feel, even if they didn't want to. But they would put other bands that are a little different too, like definitely with the radios and stuff like that. But anyway, so like back to the politics. Yeah, yeah. If like you don't know who to vote for at this point, that's crazy. Like I don't know how anybody can support the machine after what they did to us. The machine is the one that tried to lock us down. The machine is the one that tried to do like force things on us. Whether they made us like wear masks. First they told us not to, then they told us we had to. Then they would do, oh, double mask. Like, shut up, Fauci. The machine. That's the machine. He's a spokesman for the machine. And that's what Kamala is. Like, who's in charge right now? Is it Biden? No. That guy hasn't been in. Dude, he's just doing whatever now, man. He ain't in charge of nothing. Kamala, is she in charge? I don't. What did she do? I don't. Who's in charge then? Is it. Who's. Well, it's third in line. It would be the Speaker of the House. But I don't think that they're in charge. So it's just like, listen, voting for Trump is voting for a prosperous future at some point. There's going to be bumps in the road. It's not going to be easy to get there. There's a lot of bubbles that we have now that we have to work with. We have we have 30, we're about to hit 36 trillion in national debt. I don't think that people like understand, like, we spend more on our national debt to service it than our military. That's how bad it is. And we were spending like like $700 billion a year on our military. But obviously some of that is probably going to Ukraine, but yeah, like you can't just print off $10 trillion in like a couple of years and expect things to be okay. This is why I bet against the dollar, and I'm continuously betting against the dollar because I don't know. But at some point, I'm probably just going to be like, you know what? I guess I'm not going to have a future. It's probably better for me just to pay my debt off than just to keep paying like these. I guess we'll have to see what happens, man. I'm so tired of worrying about, oh, one thing happens and I'm bankrupt. Like, like if I get sick, if I get severely sick and I can't work, I'm on the streets because like, how am I supposed to pay my bills? You know what I mean? Like that's the average American. That's what we're worried about. We're worried about like where's our safety net? What happens to us? Like, they just like we go into the I can work. I can get rehabilitated. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. it's crazy. But yeah, um, that's it, I guess.